The In It Together with Lori Lynn Green talk show is a positive way to start your day. Ready for some encouragement?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm pumped. Let's let the healing begin.
Come be inspired, hear moving stories, even laugh out loud.
Can't make heads or tail of what I'm saying.
It's just incomprehensible.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
You'll hear real people doing real things to make a real impact.
You are heroes every day.
Hear honest, compassionate, engaging issues you care about.
You see people come together to do good in our community, and the more we come together, the more good we can do.
Listen in and get started on redesigning your life and hear what's positive in Greater Manchester. Here's your happy host, Lori Lynn Green.
Good morning, friends in Greater Manchester. Welcome to In It Together. We are so glad that you've tuned in. If you'd like to find us on the web, you can go to inittogether.net, listen live, watch our previous shows, even link to our Facebook, our Twitter, our YouTube, and LinkedIn, and other things. And if you like and follow us, you will see that we're bringing out the best in people to influence positive change in this community and beyond. Today is Personal Safety Day with Master Trainer of Defensive Strategies, Bob Boilard, and we are going to update you on the Tanya Hall story that we started last week when there was a lot of ambiguity about what was going on. So you want to stay tuned, and we will be back right after this.
Little Leapers and Knowledge Keepers Child Care and Preschool offers learning experiences that give kids a healthy sense of self and meaningful connections to the world around them. We teach children from a positive perspective so they learn healthy conflict resolution and develop character. Owner Jennifer Lever has over 28 years' experience in child development. She's helped children learn to read as young as 18 months. Join our happy place where we make happy happen, located in Pinardville, bordering Bedford and Manchester. Call today at 603-491-1780.
Hi, I'm Lori Lynn Green, Advancement Strategist and owner of AlphaAdvancementStrategies.com. I've been very successful at helping people overcome stressful situations to get immediate results in their personal and professional lives. At Alpha Advancement Strategies, we provide a non-judgmental and supportive environment, empowering clients to focus more on reaching their goals. You can find us on the web at alphaadvancementstrategies.com or call us at 603-860-9260. Alpha Advancement Strategies is where you invest in yourself.
Hi, I'm Jen Lever, anchor of the Recovery Now segments. Join me Tuesdays at 9 a.m. where I offer support to families struggling with addiction. Hear personal stories, learn the signs of addiction, and get help for your loved ones. Only on In It Together with Lori Lynn Green.
Welcome back to In It Together, kicking off personal safety. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing fabulous.
Doing fabulous.
Doing fabulous.
Are you a New Yorker?
It's getting warmer and warmer every day, so I'm excited about that. I'm going to come out of my cave. So
Come out of your cave.
yes. So let's just get right to it, actually. We said that last week we were talking about the Tanya Hall story. But
Yep.
One of the things I want people to do is anybody that doesn't know you right now, this is Bob Boilard, who has credentials longer than both of my arms times two. But he's actually the founder, owner, operator of Defensive Strategies. And I like to say the word defensive strategies because there are a lot of places out there that are very offensive, and this is really about personal protection,
that's what we
home
focus
defense, and personal safety.
I said this Justin Moura could have taken a couple classes here.
Well, he could have, and so
he might
this
not
is
be sitting in jail right now.
Yeah. So little update on last week's story. We were talking about Tanya Hall.
Yeah.
The senseless.
Yeah, last week there was a lot of speculation about what's going on, but the court hearings and the preliminary court hearings and all that stuff has happened now, so we know a heck of a lot more information. And
So for those who don't know, let's give like a recap of what the story was last week.
Yeah, Tanya Hall is a single mom who got shot by getting involved in with a gentleman called Jeremy Winslow. that she was dating. And I don't know if it was anything serious. He says they were, going to get married and all that, but I don't think it. I don't think it was all that serious. I think he's lying in that.
It
case,
wasn't.
but-
It doesn't appear to
No.
be as serious as initially thought.
Right.
And
I mean, if
upon,
you go to her Facebook page and you go to his Facebook page, and there's really no history of them together. Plus, I guess she had profiles on Tinder and a bunch of dating sites. So, it doesn't seem like it was all that serious. Anyways, they went to Match Vegas bar one night, and some people are speculating that Jeremy Winslow knew that these people were going to be there. That he kind of went to antagonize them, but again, that's speculation. But something happened in the men's room, I understand, and a bump in the night, and Jeremy Winslow would not say sorry. And these three guys who are supposedly members of the Bro gang, all right, motorcycle gang, and followed him out to his car. And at that point, he was trying to back out. Now, I've seen the videos on this, seen the videos of what actually did happen, and he was backing out of his spot, and one of them got in the way, and he shouldn't have been there. He was trying to escape. All right. So once he got out of his spot, he started to drive down the street, and one of the gentlemen, Justin Moura, the guy who was actually in jail right now for shooting, actually shot through the back window. Actually ran him down. I mean, he was running down the street after a moving vehicle down, the middle of Manchester with a gun in his hand. So no matter what this guy, says, he's trying to say it was an accident. He slipped on the ice and the gun went off. Okay, no matter what he says, doesn't matter. Okay, because of his actions, an innocent person is dead. Okay, and I mean, he had choices. He had many choices along the way. He could have stayed in the bar. He didn't have to chase after a moving vehicle. Okay, at that point, there was no threat. Okay, I don't care if Jeremy Winslow did try to run him over. There was no threat. Okay, when you run after a vehicle and shoot out the back window, you are going to jail. There's just no doubt about it.
Yeah, and this is the part that's really interesting. Obviously, both defenders of both sides are going. As defenders, they have to find whatever angle they can to defend them. Doesn't make it true in the whole big picture. Because as you see this unfold, we are seeing when you talked about, there's a few places both of these guys could have stepped back. Is one of the things that you teach, Bob, is the best way to handle a conflict is not to have one at all, and to avoid one at all costs. You never run to one. You never try to instigate one, and you certainly don't after the fact. With three guys chase after somebody, that's a bad idea. I mean, no matter who instigates something, that's not the best way to handle it.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, Jeremy Winslow, okay, who is the supposed victim, one of the supposed victims in this situation, is not exactly a innocent person.
Right.
Okay, if you look at his record, okay, he was arrested also because of cocaine possession, driving without a license, and driving under the influence of cocaine.
Yeah.
All right. So, and when he was arraigned, and they went for his bail hearing, it took 8 minutes to read his rap sheet. So this guy is no stranger to the law.
Yeah.
All right. So how this woman got involved with this monkey is just beyond me. She was just so out of her class range that none of this should have happened.
Well, again, it's one of those things where he looks like a guy who takes care of himself.
Right.
He's
From
charming. He's
what
one
I
of those,
could,
yeah.
from what I could see, is a modern day gigolo is what he is. Okay.
Well,
he
yeah,
was preying on women and having women pay for him for
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it just this whole story is messed up, but. But regardless of how much of a jerk Jeremy Winslow might be, and he is the victim in this because
In what way?
Well, I mean, there are some people that speculate that he went to that bar because he knew those people were there. Okay, he went to antagonize them.
Do you believe
okay?
that?
There's nothing that I see that would point to it. Okay, unless Jeremy actually comes out and says so. I mean, how do you prove something like that? You know.
Well, and the
I
other thing is,
understand
if
that
he's
there
out
is
on a
history
date, I know,
between-
but if he's on a date and he's going to take her somewhere, it doesn't make any sense that he would take it somewhere for a personal vendetta.
Well, I don't know. It seems to me that he did not care for her safety whatsoever.
Yeah.
Okay. He should have never got involved with this. Okay. It should have never escalated to the outside of the building. Okay.
That just makes him a jerk, not a killer.
Right. Okay. And, I mean, he's not the one that drew them out. I mean, they followed him out. Okay.
Right. Because he did.
And-
and here's the thought. If he was in there and there was a scuffle inside, like they said, he made the decision to leave with her.
Yeah. There's rumors now that there was some exchanges, punches and stuff thrown inside the bar. Okay. And this is on one of the articles I read yesterday, so I'm not sure if that's the case. But even so, okay, I mean,
Don't they have
Jeremy.
witnesses?
Yeah, well, that's
They may have to
part
wait
of
for
it.
the case?
Okay?
Is that
well,
why?
yeah, I mean, a lot of these preliminary hearings, you're not going to have witnesses. That you're going
Right.
to get that at the court trial.
Sure.
But at that point, Jeremy was 3 against 1.
I mean, yeah.
Because so we
When
had
we talk about
he had
disparity of
force,
force,
right?
right.
So, and
And they were coming after him. So even then,
Right.
when we saw some of the surveillance footage of him hitting the guy with his car, that would actually is that a self-defense move with 3 guys coming after?
oh
him?
yeah, no, definitely.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Right.
like now they're trying to
So-
use that.
Right,
Justin
and-
Moura's trying to use that as he was in fear for his life. How can you be in fear for your life when
Right.
you're going after somebody
Exactly.
and you have your gun
Okay.
drawn?
Right,
Who's really in fear for their life?
right.
So
Yeah, I mean, Jeremy Winslow was trying to get out of the situation like he should have. Okay. And these 3 guys followed him outside. So even if he did run him over, okay, yeah, he can certainly claim he was in fear of his life and he had disparity of force because it was 3 against 1.
right.
So he was trying to get out of the situation, which is the correct thing to do. Okay. Whether Justin Moura got hit by the car or not is really regardless. It's really mute
Well,
at
when
this
you
point
look at the
because
surveillance,
it doesn't matter.
No, I know,
Right,
but when you
so-
look at the surveillance, he was in the parking space.
Yep.
Justin was coming at him,
Mhm.
and he went up over the curb, and you could see
Yep.
that it knocked him over.
Yep. Well,
But
that-
again, we
you
don't know if his gun was drawn at that point because we couldn't tell. Obviously, what
Right.
are you going to do?
Well, it doesn't matter. I mean,
Yeah.
he was still 3 against 1. Okay, according to Jeremy, they were knocking on his windows. Okay, he was obviously in fear that they would hurt his girlfriend. All right, I would have run the guys over too. Okay,
Yeah.
because they followed me out of the
Well, their
building.
intentions are very obvious.
Right. So, whatever they got in that parking lot, that's too bad. That's on them.
Yep.
Okay. But after they can't, even claim a threat or he's even trying now to claim this was an accident. The gun went off by accident. When he admitted he thought about shooting out one of the tires. Okay. So how he's a military vet. Okay, he's a combat vet, and according to him, he went into fight or flight mode. Okay, and at that point, he said he chose fight. Okay, instead of flight, he chose wrong. Okay, he should have went the other way.
We are
okay?
civilians.
Right. You can't take military training and bring it to the streets of Manchester. It just doesn't work.
No.
Okay.
No.
And you can have situations like this when you do. Okay. When you go chasing after a vehicle and you put a bullet in the back window, okay, it doesn't matter if he would have hit Tanya Hall or Jeremy Winslow.
Right.
Either one, he would have been arrested and he's going to go to jail for
And
second-degree
this
murder.
is the thing. I think this is a good point you make. This
Case
is
closed.
This is something that I think maybe a lot of people aren't considering. Is if it was Jeremy Winslow, would they be responding as badly as with Tanya Hall? And that's a tragedy.
Yeah.
Mother of a very young boy.
Yep.
The loss. Either way, the loss of life would have been tragic.
Yep.
This woman obviously is innocent in the vendetta that was going on between these people.
Right.
Maybe she didn't know him. She
Yeah,
had
no,
no
she-
idea what that history was.
I don't think she did. And I
She's
think
completely
she was
innocent.
I
She's
think
completely
she was just
innocent.
stuck in the middle.
Yeah, she's
right?
completely innocent. I'm not going to say, by law, that Jeremy is guilty, but definitely there could have been some
Well,
history there.
I think some of his actions led up to her death. Okay, I don't think he's totally innocent,
Yeah.
but you can't
Well, how do you
you
charge
can't arrest him
them?
as an assist as a
You can't.
accomplice.
You can't. Okay, so because there's no laws about
being a jerk. No,
but like provoking. Provoking somebody in a situation. So I don't know. I don't know what those
well,
are.
there is. Okay,
Answer your phone, will you, Bob?
yeah, sorry about that. I usually shut this off.
No, it's
and
okay.
Completely forgot this. morning.
So just talking about, are there any laws as far as instigation? I mean,
Well, yeah, and you
there may be.
can't be the one to provoke the fight, okay? But even if you did, okay, I mean, you can't provoke a fight, and when you start losing, take your gun out and shoot the guy, all right? Because you were the initial aggressor.
Right.
You started it, okay?
Right.
All right. In this case, what happened was, if he did go into that bar looking to antagonize these guys, okay, and provoke them,
Mm-hmm.
then he accomplished what he set out to do,
Right.
okay. But at the point where he was leaving, okay,
Mm-hmm.
he is withdrawing from the situation,
Right.
okay, and that should have been left as it was right there. But they pursued him out of the building.
Mm-hmm.
And they continued to pursue him. So for him retreating, that returns the situation to basically zero. Okay, where
Yeah.
now they're pursuing him. Okay, he was
Yeah.
actually trying to retreat from a situation that
right.
he caused.
Well, clearly
Okay.
the way, obviously, we look at both of these stories. There's a lot of history there. I know the family, Jeremy's family.
Yep.
Some of them I would say are top-notch people
Mm-hmm.
that I would consider friends, more than acquaintance, but friends. And he's troubled. He definitely was troubled.
Yeah.
Just thinking about how his life was when he was raised at first and things like that. And then I don't know about Justin's life, and I'm not making excuses, but the reality is
Well, yeah, I don't know a lot about Justin's background,
Mm-hmm.
but I know he was a combat vet. I'm not even sure what military service he was in. But I also understand that he is a felon and should not be in possession of a firearm to
Right.
begin with. Okay, so right there, I mean, he's going to do some jail time.
Yeah.
Okay, not counting the murder.
And
but-
well, some of the story is his backstory is that he was in different states too. I think one of them was Arizona, another one was I forget what other states, but he was in a couple of other states prior, and he has outstanding warrants in other states for I don't know misdemeanor crimes.
yeah, I think that's. I don't think that's Justin. I think that's Jeremy.
Yeah,
That is-
Jeremy
yeah,
is what I'm talking
yeah.
about.
Yeah.
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 So, and so obviously maybe he left those states not to have to face those, but
Yeah.
after every once in a while the piper gets paid, you know.
Eventually,
Yeah.
eventually, it all comes home. It all comes due. So,
Yeah, you look for trouble, and trouble will find
Yeah.
you, and
So-
that's something we want you to
So
avoid.
yeah, I mean, I'm really amused that these pro bono lawyers, these public defenders, are actually going with the accident type situation. Where I mean, I don't know how they even believe they can make that stick. Okay, when you
Yeah.
chase down a vehicle, it wasn't. I don't care if you slip or you shoot on purpose. Okay, it was no accident. You ran after that vehicle for a purpose.
Well, so
Okay.
here's the question I have though, Bob. And we talk
Yeah.
about the difference between first degree or second degree. First degree is it's planned and everything. So we're looking at
Right.
worst case scenario, second degree.
Well,
because obviously
right.
she wasn't his target.
second degree murder because it wasn't his target, it wasn't premeditated, okay, and it happened on spur of the moment,
Yeah.
immediate emotions.
Mhm.
Okay, if it was premeditated, I mean, and there's they could plead this down to manslaughter,
That's what I was thinking.
voluntary manslaughter or something on that idea. So
Yeah, that's what I was thinking is more.
they usually
along
start
those
high
lines.
and then plead it
Mhm.
down. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got to take a short break. I just want to welcome all of you live streamers and internet radio listeners. We'll be back right after this brief message. Stay tuned.
Morgan Self Storage has been serving Manchester and Salem, New Hampshire for over 15 years. Facilities are heated with security and video surveillance in well-lit hallways, easy access loading, and high-capacity elevators. With many sized units, portable trailers, and boxes for moving, we can meet your residential or business storage needs. 400 Bedford Street in Manchester or 8 Willow Street in Salem. Visit morganstorage.com or call us at 603-623-2000. Morgan Self Storage, making self-storage secure, safe, and easy.
Hi, this is Lori Lynn Green, Advancement Strategist and Coach Trainer at alphaadvancementstrategies.com. Join me Mondays at 9 a.m. where I'll talk about ways to help keep you moving forward in life. Only on In It Together with Lori Lynn Green. Welcome back to In It Together. We're in the midst of personal safety this morning with Bob Boilard of Defensive Strategies. Just talking about the recent Tanya Hall case. Just giving some updates of the two gentlemen. I shouldn't say gentlemen. The two guys who were involved in the untimely
I call them jugheads.
Yeah, it just really the horrible. Loss of life, Tanya Hall.
Yeah, I mean, come on. When you're 34 years old, it's time to grow up, people.
Well, and explain that. I think. well, really, you were saying this last week. How to handle a situation like that. Well, first off, is if you're inviting trouble, you're going to find it, right? But
yeah, well, if this did actually go down the way they say it went down, he bumped me in the men's room and he won't say sorry. Okay, I mean, this is grade 5 stuff. Okay,
yes.
It's time to grow up. Okay, and move on. Okay, egos will get you killed. Egos will get other people killed. All right. These male egos, they just, and this is exactly why the Democrats want everybody to go into the softer male, okay? It's because egos do this kind of stuff, okay?
Yeah.
And some men are just thick-headed morons. It's just the way, I'm sorry, that's just the way it is.
Well, you know what the Bible says about that, Bob. It is not good for man to be alone.
Right.
A woman tames him down. Training for rating. Anyways.
Yeah.
So these two guys, obviously, in the training that you offer, what are the first class that I took with you was a Refuse to be a Victim class, which teaches situational awareness, but also teaches avoidance of situations like this, with the how the law perceives it, the disparity of force, when you can use lethal force, things like that.
Right. One simple class, would have told this guy, I'm going to jail because I'm running after this vehicle. Okay, he would have knew that.
Yeah.
Okay, but again, people like that don't take classes. They don't educate themselves. They're just, they're going to do what they want to do. And hey, all right, that's fine with me. Go to jail. You can't not be acting like this. You can't be running down the streets of Manchester after a vehicle with a gun in your hand. You just can't do that.
I know, and it's funny. Well, when you laugh like that, I can see you're just like, what are they thinking? Because it's against everything that you teach.
It's that stupid. Okay,
Yeah.
It really is. You can't be doing this stuff.
Right.
Okay, maybe when you're in the military, you can run down, but no, not in the streets of Manchester.
Right. Well, and that's the thing, And here's another thing. I think about the training that you offer, and I know there are other people who do like tactical training and stuff. And this isn't like pointing anybody out in particular, but when we are civilians, it really is different, especially because we still live and abide by the laws.
Yes.
And so it's not like you can get a military license to.
No, civilians are required to go the other way. Okay, military and law enforcement run towards gunfire. Civilians need to go the other way. Okay.
Yeah.
the number one objective for civilians is remove yourself from the situation at all costs. Okay, and you only fight as a last resort. Okay, life over property, always life over property.
I like that
okay?
you're saying that.
And because people don't listen to this, okay, Tanya Hall is dead, and there is a 34-year-old who is going to be going to prison for a very long time because of it.
Yeah.
Because he didn't know the law, he didn't know use of force, he didn't know, okay, or he just didn't care. One of the two. Either way, he's going to pay the price now. Okay, because I mean, again, you can't be running after vehicles down, city streets.
You bring up a good point that I want to bring out, because as you and I are talking about personal safety, we're talking about not just our own safety, but to be safe in the community.
Yep.
One of the things you said here was the different mindsets of somebody who's maybe had military training versus someone who's had civilian training like you teach. What are some of the assumptions about this training? You've had, and I'm sure you've dealt with this. You've had some ex-military come in and they kind of have to retrain how they think about it?
Not really. I mean, we don't have to retrain them. We have to make them rethink.
Well, that's what I guess I shouldn't have said retrain, but it's more of defensive than offensive.
Right. I mean, you have to understand that military law enforcement can elevate the force if they need to control the situation. Civilians can't do that. Okay,
Right.
Civilians can only use the equal amount of force that is being used against them. So, in order to put that into perspective, you need to know the different levels of force. Okay, such as verbal commands, hand to hand, okay, electronic and chemical weapons, lethal force, and all that. Okay, so that we don't seem to be the one to escalate or go to the next level of force, because then we look like we made the situation worse. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Justin's going to learn this when he goes through the court process, because he escalated the force many times. Okay, and he's no longer military; he can't do that. Okay.
Yeah.
So he made the situation worse on a couple of occasions.
Right.
Okay. One, by following them out. Okay. Two, by drawing his gun. And three, and he brought it right to lethal force by firing that gun. Okay.
Right.
Whether it was an accident or not. Okay. To me, and I think to a jury, it's not going to matter. All right. Because he chased after that vehicle.
Right.
Okay. And only Justin knows what was going through his mind when he was chasing him and what his intent was. Okay. And intent is a big part of the process, big part that they need to prove. Okay. He said he thought about shooting out the tires. Okay. Well, what happens if he did and he missed and it went through the back window and killed Tanya? Okay.
Yeah.
If he would have just not done anything, not chase after the vehicle, she would still be alive today.
Yeah, but what would be the
So it really
the
doesn't
purpose
matter.
and the goal of shooting the tires out, though, so that you can get to the guy
To
and
stop
beat him up?
Right, to stop him, but that's the whole point. And what were they going to do if they did stop him? They were going to beat the hell out of him, or what?
There would have been,
Right.
It
would have been another confrontation.
It still doesn't prove that she would have not been killed in that
Right,
process either.
exactly.
So the
Okay.
outcome, I think that's part of it too, is would the outcome have been different?
Yeah, and then the other thing that he says, the other thing that I was thinking of is getting the license plate number. Why did he need the license plate number when he knew the guy? He knew his name and all that. So why did he need the license plate number?
Though. It's a good story.
Yeah, it sounds great.
No, it doesn't.
Even the prosecutor says, why did he need the plate when he knew who the guy was? I mean, come on.
A couple of things that you were talking about that I think that people need to understand a little about. One is when you talk about based on the law levels of force.
Yeah.
The other one maybe you can talk about is the difference after the fact about criminal and civil suits, because there could still be a civil suit going on after this.
Yep. No matter what, whether he is found guilty or innocent in criminal court, Tanya Hall's mother can always bring him to court for civil. Okay. Now,
how does one who's in jail and probably has nothing left to their name pay for a civil suit? Is this something where once he gets out, I mean...
the probability of this happening probably not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's because there's really, I mean, he's not worth anything. I think he had $600 in his checking account.
What,
so
what is that? The statutory length of time where, say, he ends up going to prison for a certain amount of time, because like he's not up for murder. Justin's not up. Jeremy's not up for murder. So if I don't know if there could be a civil suit against him.
Oh, you're
as
talking
well.
about?
I was talking about both.
Of course. Okay.
Well,
in
this
fact,
is what I'm
in
saying.
fact, the parents of Tanya Hall has already gone to court to get a restraining order against Jeremy because this guy's pretty weird.
That was kind of scary, actually. The more I thought about that, okay, so let's just back up a little on that. Last week we were
it's
talking.
weirder.
Yeah, well, last week we were talking about this. We had determined that Jeremy, who had said they were going to get married and they were going to go fly somewhere and everything. When you look on their pages, there was really no relationship prior to that. So that was probably an untruth.
Yeah.
The second part was after Tanya Hall had passed, it wasn't even a week, and he had gone to the grandmother's house to see the child.
Right.
Saying that, he wanted to be a part of his life. And it just felt a little uncomfortable to me. And so, rightly so.
Felt uncomfortable to the family, too.
Yeah, rightly so, they did that. Because I'm thinking, what would be we don't know what he was thinking, but I was speculating that, you do something like that. It's like, well, maybe you can use that kid for something else. I don't know what, but.
The thing that I got out of it was that he was loving the media attention. Okay. Because he was on, WMUR every other 5 minutes, and union leader, and even some of the nationals were calling him. He was really soaking this up. So I think he wanted to make it look like there was more of a relationship there than what met the eye. Okay. Yeah. And obviously, for good reason that the family of Tanya Hall is, we're not having none of that.
Well, people caught on very quickly.
Yeah.
Right away, before anything was really, anybody really knew what happened or what provoked it. Just seeing him, do like long interviews and stuff with little to no remorse about Tanya's death, and.
Yeah.
And then, upon investigation, seeing his page, and I think a lot of people were just questioning it from the beginning.
Yeah, it was very weird.
It doesn't make him guilty, and there were people who were saying that he caused it, but I don't know.
It doesn't make him guilty, but it makes him pretty odd.
Well, but it does make him maybe accomplice to why she died. Some of it, but anyway.
I think he has some responsibility there. I definitely do. Okay, but
you say he has some responsibility, but you don't think it's legal responsibility at this point?
Not that I know of at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, unless they can prove that he purposely went to Match Vegas nightclub to meet those guys. Okay, which I'm sure he'll never admit. Then it's only speculation whether he went there to antagonize these guys or not.
Right.
So a lot of speculation out there. In Facebook land and in other places. But, I mean, with speculation is speculation. You have to be able to prove it in a court of law beyond a reasonable doubt. So,
I got to be honest. When I used to hear people say Manch Vegas, I thought they were joking around about the city of Manchester being like a little Vegas. I didn't even really know there was a restaurant or bar called Manch Vegas, because I don't frequent bars. So
we're definitely, last night on Sagamore Street we had another stabbing and a shooting death. So.
And then yesterday there was
Manchester
a call
has come to.
Well, and then Kelly Street there was
another shooting yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah. So we, this is like a couple years ago. I remember you and I sitting here with this woman runner up in the North End got gunned down. Nobody really knows she was at the post office, and that one had been the first one, and we can't even remember how long.
Right. Yep. It's because of the drugs. Okay, they're bringing in the drugs, and you got nasty people bringing in the drugs. So you're gonna be attracting these kind of people.
Yeah. So what I want to do now, Bob, is I'm on your site here. I want to kind of look at some of the classes you have coming up to be able to tell people.
Well, the next couple of weeks we have I have rifle instructor coming up this weekend.
Yeah, Bob trains instructors too, so that's a lot of what he does.
So we got rifle instructor coming up. The following weekend, we've got the ladies only class.
Well, actually, before that, you actually have what is this? The basic fast on the 23rd.
Yeah, that's next weekend.
Okay.
Yeah. And fast class, that fast is fundamentals and safety training. It's a basic handgun. Mm-hmm. And basically, it's the same thing as the ladies only class, except it's a mixed class. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And this is about, again, self-defense.
Right.
Only.
Everything we do is about self-defense.
And and so the ladies only, which is something that you offer exclusively to ladies, especially because you've worked with women in the past who have been victims of domestic violence and things like that. So they're not really comfortable in a room with maybe a bunch of
those
guys.
Egos, yeah, right.
Well, I didn't say it. You did, and I'm just going to agree with you.
Yes, I did. I said it.
But you got it under wraps, right, Bob?
I got it under wraps, no doubt about it.
He has it written right here. Sorry, guys, but this class is all about the ladies.
Right.
So for women only, and we do have a great women assistant trainer as well that works with you.
Lynn Nato. Yep.
She's fabulous.
She
very
is.
Patient, knowledgeable. And actually my experience with you when I trained with you guys was very patient, answered my questions, very helpful.
What we're there for.
Helped me have confidence, because you kind of feel if you're not familiar with stuff like this, you can kind of feel out of your league.
I mean, that's why we have 5-star ratings all over the place, because I mean, they take these classes and they walk away with a sense of accomplishment. Okay. Mm-hmm. We're not here to make fun of you. We're not here. We're here to let you learn. Yeah. Okay, in a safe environment, and that's exactly what we do. So
and I have seen, like, I've witnessed other classes and with you training, and it comes down to we're going to take the time to answer your questions so that you do understand, because the whole purpose is for safety. That's most of your training. Most of the training is all about the safety aspects first, less about picking out the firearm and all that stuff until later on.
Well, yeah, I mean, they all have their place, but these beginner classes, the fast class, it's it's just an information dump. There's so much information.
What is the acronym FAST?
Fundamentals and safety training.
Okay, excellent. All right, Bob, do you want to give them the contact information?
Yep, you can find us at defensivestrategies.org or call me directly at 603-566-1727. Have a good week.
All right, that sounds good. Well, that concludes today's personal safety. If you want to join us tomorrow, who do I have coming on tomorrow? So it's usually business and community safety. Actually, I remember we have the wonderful Marnie Wells coming on, the mom of 12. She used to have a segment here with us, and it's great to have her come back tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. Have a blessed day, and remember, we are in it together.